Some restaurants don't just serve food,
They serve danger on a plate, from hidden health hazards to shocking contamination. What you don't see in the kitchen could ruin far more than your appetite. In the past few years, some of America's most popular chains have been caught with stomach-turning hygiene violations, mystery ingredients, and even items in your meal that were never meant to be eaten. Today, you're going to know 7 restaurants in the US where one wrong order could change your night or your life. Let's begin. Wendy's. Let's start with a story that'll make you question every piece of lettuce you've ever eaten. In the summer of 2022, something terrifying was happening at Wendy's restaurants across the Midwest. People were ordering their usual burgers and sandwiches, taking them home, and hours later they were doubled over in agony, racing to emergency rooms. The culprit? An E. coli outbreak that would eventually sicken 109 people across 6 states: Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Kentucky, and New York. 52 people were hospitalized, and 13 developed hemolytic uremic syndrome, a type of kidney failure that can be fatal. The victims ranged from a 1-year-old child to a 94-year-old senior. Health investigators were initially stumped, but as they interviewed victim after victim, a pattern emerged. 83% of those who got sick had eaten at Wendy's in the week before their illness. More specifically, most had eaten sandwiches topped with romaine lettuce. Here's what makes this particularly chilling. Wendy's immediately pulled romaine lettuce from restaurants in the affected region as a precaution, but the CDC could never definitively confirm lettuce as the source. Why? Because the meals eaten by sick people had many similar ingredients, and there was no laboratory or traceback data that could confirm it. The outbreak ended without officials ever identifying the exact contaminated ingredient. One victim described the experience as feeling like her insides were going to explode. Her stomach became so swollen from inflammation that she looked pregnant. Another spent 12 days in the hospital fighting for her life. These weren't people with weak immune systems. They were regular customers who thought they were grabbing a quick, safe meal. Subway. Subway's slogan promises to eat fresh, but in 2021, customers started wondering if they were eating fish at all. A lawsuit filed in California made an explosive claim. Subway's tuna wasn't tuna. The plaintiffs alleged that independent lab tests found the sandwiches contained a mixture of various concoctions that do not constitute tuna yet have been blended together to imitate the appearance of tuna. The allegations got wilder. Lab tests, conducted by UCLA's Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, reported whatsoever. Instead, all 20 samples allegedly contained chicken DNA, 11 contained pork DNA, and 7 contained cattle DNA. The New York Times jumped into the investigation, commissioning their own tests. They bought more than 60 inches worth of Subway tuna sandwiches from 3 Los Angeles locations and sent them to a lab. The result? No amplifiable tuna DNA was present in the sample. Subway fought back hard, creating an entire website called subwaytunafacts.com to defend their product. They argued that DNA testing isn't reliable for cooked and processed tuna because heat denatures the proteins, making identification nearly impossible. They maintained they use 100% wild-caught skipjack and yellowfin tuna. The lawsuit was eventually dismissed in 2023, with the plaintiff withdrawing the case, but the damage to Subway's reputation was done. Whether the tuna was real or not, millions of customers were left wondering, if we can't trust what's in a tuna sandwich, what else might be hiding in our food? Taco Bell. If you have a weak stomach, you might want to skip your next Taco Bell run after hearing this. In March 2023, health inspectors in Davie, Florida, responded to a customer complaint and discovered something that sounds like it came straight out of a horror movie. Near the nacho station, there was a puddle of standing water on the kitchen floor. But this wasn't just any puddle. It was teeming with approximately 100 live maggots. Yes, maggots, wriggling around where your food was being prepared. But wait, it gets worse. The inspectors found dead flies scattered around the soda machine area and a dead roach near the front counter. The restaurant was immediately shut down, hit with 27 violations in a single inspection. The location was eventually allowed to reopen after a deep clean and re-inspection. But imagine being a customer who ate there the day before the inspection. Every bite of your Crunchwrap Supreme could have been prepared just feet away from a maggot infestation. Burger King. Have it your way takes on a sinister meaning after what inspectors found at a Florida Burger King in 2023. The self-serve soda fountain, the same one customers used every single day, was infested with live maggots. Health officials believe the fly larvae were attracted to sugary residue in the machine's drip tray, a sign that cleaning had been neglected for an extended period. This wasn't an isolated incident either. The location was hit with 27 violations during that single inspection. Think about it. Every customer who filled their cup with ice and soda potentially got an extra protein garnish they never ordered. The machine had to be completely disassembled and sanitized, but for customers who had been drinking from it for days or weeks before the discovery, the damage was already done. Arby's. Arby's proudly
Washington.
had something else that nobody ordered, and it's possibly the most disgusting thing on this entire list. A night manager was caught on video urinating into the milkshake mix. Let that sink in. The manager literally relieved himself into the bag of milkshake mix that would be used to make shakes and ice cream floats for customers. How was this discovered? Police were investigating the manager for an unrelated case when they found a 16-second video on his phone showing him committing this revolting act. When confronted, the 29-year-old admitted he had done this at least twice before. He claimed he was almost sure he threw out the contaminated bag afterward, but chillingly noted that if he hadn't, it would have been mixed into shakes served to customers the next day. Records showed dozens of milkshakes were sold from that location on the days in question. While health officials tried to reassure the public that consuming urine-tainted food poses a low health risk, that's hardly comforting to anyone who bought a milkshake there. The employee was immediately fired and faced criminal charges, but the psychological damage to customers was irreversible. Panera Bread. Panera Bread, with its wholesome bakery cafe image, seemed like the safest place on this list. But in 2023, it became the center of a tragedy that shocked the nation. The culprit was an innocent-looking beverage called charged lemonade. 21-year-old Sarah Katz, a University of Pennsylvania student with a heart condition called long QT syndrome, died after drinking a large charged lemonade in September 2022. The drink contained 390 milligrams of caffeine, nearly the FDA's recommended daily limit for adults and more than a Red Bull and Monster Energy drink combined. Sarah had been diagnosed with her heart condition at age 5 and was vigilant about avoiding energy drinks. But Panera's charged lemonade was displayed alongside regular beverages and marketed as plant-based and clean. There was no clear warning that this was essentially a super-caffeinated energy drink in disguise. Sarah wasn't the only victim. Dennis Brown, a 46-year-old man with developmental delays and high blood pressure, died after drinking 3 charged lemonades in one visit. 2 other customers filed lawsuits claiming the drink caused permanent heart damage. Initially, Panera stood by their product, but under mounting pressure and publicity, they added warning labels. By 2024, they pulled charged lemonade from their menu entirely. The company quietly settled all lawsuits in 2024 without admitting liability. Jollibee. Our final entry might be the most bizarre. Jollibee, the Philippines' most famous fast food chain with locations across the United States, served up something in 2021 that defies belief. A customer in Manila ordered Jollibee's signature chicken joy for her son. When she tried to cut into one piece, her knife hit something unusually tough, peeled back the golden brown breading, and discovered a blue dish towel that had been batter fried and served as chicken. Pictures of the crispy fried towel went viral on social media, shocking Jollibee fans worldwide. The leading theory was that a cleaning rag accidentally got mixed into the chicken breading station and was fried like an actual piece of chicken. The customer was understandably horrified, posting on Facebook, "How the hell do you get the towel in the batter and even fry it? So disgusting and embarrassing." Jollibee immediately shut down that location for 3 days for complete sanitation and staff retraining. They cited deviations from standard food preparation procedures and promised to review protocols. But the damage was done. The fried towel became notorious worldwide, making everyone inspect their fried chicken a little more closely. Now, this doesn't mean you should never eat out again. Millions of people safely eat at these restaurants every day. But knowledge is power. Pay attention to cleanliness when you walk into a restaurant. Check health inspection scores. If something looks, smells, or tastes off, trust your instincts and don't eat it. These incidents remind us that food safety isn't guaranteed even at major chains with supposed quality controls. Behind those familiar logos and cheerful marketing campaigns, human error, negligence, and sometimes even criminal behavior can turn a simple meal into a medical emergency. The next time you're about to bite into that burger, sip that lemonade, or unwrap that fried chicken, remember these stories. Stay informed, stay cautious, and maybe cook at home a little more often. Because while most meals are perfectly safe, you never know when you might become the next cautionary tale. Your health is worth more than convenience. Stay safe out there and bon appetit if you still have an appetite.